Okay, I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on just one way to do mosaic crochet using 3 different colors. This is Overlay Mosaic Crochet, and we're going to do like Tapestry Overlay Mosaic Crochet. So what we're going to do, there's lots of different ways that you can add the color. Like one way you could do is make bobbins for each other color, so that each of these flowers has their own bobbin. But this section is going to be repeated itself in a blanket like 4 times, so I don't want to have that many bobbins and that many ends to weave in at the end. What I'm going to do is just carry the yarn all the way through, and then we're going to have an envelope border on the side to hide all of these ends. And then doing it this way, we are going to have a little bit thicker fabric when it comes to these flower parts than like the rest of the blanket or even down here in these petals, but that's okay. Let me show you how I do it. So I'm going to take all 3 colors that I have, my pink, yellow, and blue, and since the first color I'm using is pink, I'm going to make a slip knot with my pink. I'm going to lay these other 2 colors along the top of my work, making sure I have a nice long ends here. Okay. Then insert my hook through these beginning border stitches. I have a video on how to do that, how to do my beginning border stitches. And then we're basically working over the unworked colors. Okay, this is Tapestry Crochet, and we're just going to carry the unworked yarn with us as we go down along. Okay, these first stitches are going to be back loop only single crochet, and while we do those, you carry the yarn over the top. So I'm like capturing those 2 ends and working over them. Okay, you want to make sure that you always have a nice long tail here so that those aren't going to escape. Let me show you the chart that I'm following here. So I'm making these flowers. And I've just now worked 1, 2, 3 back loop only single crochet. And now I'm ready to do 1, 2, 3, 4 front loop only double crochets. Those are the drop down double crochets. Didn't quite finish my 3rd stitch here. Okay, so now we're ready to do the front loop only double crochet. How you would normally work that is yarn over, grab the front loop 2 rows below, that pink one, grab that and continue working your double crochet, and then going to the next one like that. But doing that, you're left with these guys just kind of hanging in the back, and you know, which is okay for a stitch or 2, but really if I'm making a blanket, I want this blanket to be cuddly and not the yarn not to catch on things and whatever. So I want to make sure I work these ends in somewhere. Okay, if I didn't do that, I work my next stitch like a back loop only single crochet, and then these are just here. You just don't want those to get caught. Okay, so let's take these stitches out, and then what I'm going to do is do an anchored front loop only double crochet. So I'm going to lay those 2 strands of yarn over the top just like normal. I'm going to go through the back loop like I'm doing a back loop only single, but then yarn over and come down here, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now I have these 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 3 of those, and yarn over and pull through the last 2. Okay, yarn over, not, see how I was about to go just down there? Nope, I'm going to instead, no yarn overs. I'm going to go to the next stitch, pretend I'm doing a back loop single, and then go for my front loop only double crochet, but now I'm pulling through 3 loops here and then 2 loops. Okay, let me do that again extra slow. I think I'm going too fast for you. So I'm going to do 4 of these. So this is number 3. Okay, I'm going to pretend I'm doing a back loop single, but not finish that off. I'm going to yarn over and grab the front loop 2 rows below, yarn over, pull through. Now I have my 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 3 of those, yarn over and pull through those last 2. Okay, and what that does is that's hiding that inside here. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get used to because I haven't done those anchor double crochets for this entire project, and now I'm starting it. Okay. Oop. Lost it. Okay, and then according to my chart here, after my 4 X's, I just have a regular single and then 4 more X's. Then I'm going to show you when I'm going to switch colors. Okay, so then here's another one, another drop down, front loop only, double crochet. Okay, here's the chart, and you might be wondering when we're going to change colors. I'm going to be doing all my color changes on this X row. Stitch 16 and stitch 36 is what I'm going to be doing my color changes. That way the color changes is hidden by the white, by the X, by our contrast color, and we're not able to see that a color change is happening. That way hopefully it'll all be hidden, it'll be nice and clean. Okay, so I've done the stitch 13, stitch 14, stitch 15, and now 16 is where I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to insert, act like I'm doing a regular single crochet, but after I pull the yarn through, I'm going to drop the pink behind, pick up my yellow, lay my yarn aside, and change to yellow. Finish off that single crochet stitch using yellow. And now I'm ready to continue on with the chart with yellow. Well, we just finished stitch 16, so 17, 18, and 19. We're going to do 3 single crochets and then a drop down double. And we're just continuing to pull along our unworked yarn. I did 1, 2, 3, now we do a drop down double. And remember, we're making these ones anchored. So I'm going to act like I'm doing a back loop single, but then yarn over and come down and do the front loop double. We're going to have extra loop to go through. We're going through 3 loops right here and then our last 2. Okay, and then according to my chart, I have 3 more singles. So I did our 3 single crochets, and now we're going to do our drop down double, our anchored drop down double. So pretend like you're doing a back loop single. Instead, now you're going to go into your front loop. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The differences are now we're carrying the yarn, so we're making sure that we're working over all the strands, and that our double crochets are now anchored double crochets so that our yarn gets nice and snug in there. Okay, one thing, you always want to make sure that the yarn that you're carrying is nice and taut. You don't want to like pull it tight because you see how that bunches that up, but you want it taut so that it doesn't really peek through or get wrinkled up in there. So I'm going to change blue here in this row like I talked about before. Stitch 36 where the X is, that's where I'm going to change to blue. I'm going to do 4 singles and then change to blue, and I'll show you how I finish up this row. Okay, so I did 1 single, 2 back loop single, 3 back loop single, and then here on this 4th one I'm going to change colors. So insert hook, yarn over, pull through, drop that down, pick up the blue. I'm going to bring those colors forward, finish off that stitch with the blue. Hope that makes sense. And now I'm ready to do blue. Okay, so make sure we're working over both unused yarns. Single, single, single. Now we're going to work our drop down. So, you guys, always when I get here, I just want to automatically do just a regular front loop only double crochet, but we need to anchor it by inserting our hook through the back loop, making sure we're capturing our 2 strands, okay? Now yarn over, go through that front loop, and now pull through those 3 loops, those 2 loops. So if you're making the full blanket of this pattern, you would continue on working in the same fashion, changing colors there in the middle, but since we're just doing a swatch of this, I want to show you what we're doing at the end. So we make sure that you have your yarn carried through the hole. Make sure it's tight, but not, taut, but not too tight. We're going to work our ending border stitch as normal, but I'm working kind of over those stitches. I'm working over those strands of yarn. Okay. Then I'm going to fasten off. I'm going to cut all 3 strands, but then just do a slip knot here. Just finish fastening it off. So these strands are just loosey-goosey hanging out, but then what I'm going to do is just tie these off together like so. And I'm going to do that on this side just to make sure that everything is not going to fall out. Okay, I'm not going to have any accidents here. Okay, let me show you how I hide the color changes with my contrast color here in the next row. I'm going to do 3 front loop only double crochets. These are just regular ones. You could anchor them if you want. I just choose not to do that. I haven't done them for the rest of the blanket, so I'm not going to start now. Okay, here's where we got to our color change. We do our 3rd front loop only double, and then the next stitch is a single in the back loop only. You can see our color change is nice and hidden there. And we'll have 3 separate flowers. Isn't that really cool? Okay, that's one way to do this color work with Overlay Mosaic Crochet. There are other YouTube videos out there that will teach you different methods. This is the way I did it. Let me know in the comments, have you ever done this method before? What do you think of it? Are you trying it right now? Is it hard? Is it easy? Give me your comments, your questions, your thoughts down below. I would love to hear from you.